The following contains discussions of suicide and mental and emotional abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. It's November of 2019, and Marcus and Ian, two young gay men, are slowly but surely falling in love. The two San Francisco State University students would spend the next 2 months courting each other like a fairy tale love story. But unlike a fairy tale, tragedy was about to strike. In February of 2020, just 2 weeks after officially becoming a couple, the world shut down. The COVID pandemic hit, shutting their university down and forcing the two to evacuate the campus. While their families tried to pull them apart, the two were determined to save this new, budding romance. So you're finishing up college, the pandemic starts as you're finishing up college. Tell us what you guys do right as the pandemic hits.
We had just gotten together. We started officially dating like 2 weeks before. And we got the announcement that class was canceled, and it was only supposed to be canceled for 2 weeks. And at the time that it was canceled, I played volleyball, and so we still had volleyball games that weekend. They had not been canceled yet. And so it was a Monday night. We both looked at each other right when we saw that classes were canceled, and we were like, why don't we just drive down to LA and spend the week there? So we packed a little suitcase. We did not have that many things, and because we were planning on staying for 5 days until my volleyball game that Saturday, and then we were going to go back up. So we packed just a little bit. We came down here, and I think literally that next day, every other responsibility, every volleyball game, every meeting, everything got canceled. And so we were like, all right, it looks like we're going to be down here for a while. And then the lockdown happened and we weren't allowed to go anywhere. And so we ended up staying in LA for about a month with 5 days worth of clothes.
Yeah.
Now, when you say you're going to LA, you're not staying in a hotel, you're staying with Marcus's parents, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Which is where you are now. Yes? The loving
Yes,
ones.
yes.
So here's the thing. So you're with Marcus's parents for supposed to be 5 days. It turns out to be a month. Now, at the same time, Ian, you have your family who is not at all supportive of this relationship. What are they feeling?
So they had met Marcus one time, but not as my boyfriend, just as my friend, in a group that
Yeah,
we
your mom
brought
was
to my
like
house.
smoking her cigarette. They're just friends. Okay.
Yeah. And so my mom hated it. She was really upset that it was like such a crazy time, and it was such a, like a once in a lifetime. This has never happened before. She was upset that I didn't want to be there with her during this crazy, weird time. And I think from my perspective, it was like, I thought we were going to be here for 5 days, and I didn't get stuck down here because I like it down here, but I did not expect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she hated it, and she didn't know though still at the time that we were dating. She still thought that we were just friends.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But yeah.
Denial is a serious thing. You never
Yes.
overestimate the denial.
Yes.
So what happens? So you end up caving to the parents, I guess, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Does Marcus come with you?
Yes.
Yeah, and now here, I want to warn the audience, prepare. We're about to see a person who wasn't in a cult go experience cult life, and it's going to be a very fun story, I guarantee.
So we went up there, and we would spend like months at a time up there and then come back down and stay with them. And so the first time we went there, it was weird because we went from going from my parents. My mom just walked in.
Does Mom want to make a cameo? Hi, Mom.
Oh, no, she
We
doesn't
love
wanna
an
be on
accepting
here.
sister.
But we went from my parents' house where we could be a couple and we could be affectionate and PDA, if you will, to going to Ian's parents where that's not allowed, and we had to sit on separate couches and act like best buds.
You
And
have
there was nothing
chastity belts
romantic there
at
all.
night. You're screwed
Yep,
into.
yep.
Yeah.
And so I think when we went up there, it was very strange for him because for me, it was like, oh, this is just life. We're not gonna, there's nothing different, and it's not weird to hide that we're a couple. And I think for him, he had never experienced having to change anything about himself or keep it hidden a little bit. And so
Well, let me ask you, Ian, did you learn something seeing this perspective through Marcus's eyes? Because I'm sure at first you didn't understand Marcus's frustration. But hindsight 2020, did you see how what you lived through as a child and through most of your life to date was not only something that wasn't fair to you, but wasn't necessarily like a life to take on and allow yourself to accept, because it's very oppressive and very self-loathing. Did you learn something from that experience?
I think that while it was happening, I don't think I noticed it. I think I was just frustrated with him because he would be upset that we couldn't, be ourselves while we were there, and I would be upset at him for being upset. And I think we were stuck in that kind of mindset. But I think that now looking back, I'm able to see it more, and kind of put together the pieces and be like, oh, this is kind of what led to this. And so I think that now I've been able to look back and see that, but at the time I didn't notice it at all.
So is there, so
thought it
you,
was
when you guys, yeah, I know, LOL. Marcus, let me tell you, you're lucky for being the crazy one, okay? Because you're not. Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, going through that experience, I assume you guys, are from New York now. You're back in California to visit family. I'm sure you'll stop and visit Ian's family. What is the conversation going to be with your parents? Or have you had the conversation that's going to be like, hey guys, here's who we are. You can either accept us or not. And if you want to accept us, then we can come be there, be present with you. And if you're not willing to be accepting, then we just won't come visit because it's not fair to our mental state. Or have you guys compromised and are willing to keep your guys' distance and kind of affect your own relationship in favor of appeasing Ian's family? What's that kind of decision now?
Yeah, so
Marcus is like,
I had
shunt. Whatever you say, honey. Yeah, whatever you say.
so I had some big issues with my parents this year, and I ended up pretty much writing my mom a letter in March saying that if Marcus and I couldn't be a couple, then we weren't interested in being close with them, and we weren't interested in visiting them. Because it got to a point where everyone in my family knows that we're dating. It's just weird and it's awkward, and it's this big elephant in the room every time that we're there when we hide it, but everyone knows that it's there. And so I finally got to a point where I was like, I need to stand up for us, and I need to say that, we are going to be ourselves. We're full adults. I have a master's degree and he's getting his bachelor's next year. Like, we need to be able to act like adults. So my mom pretty much said that they're going to relax the rules on that, and that we are able to act like a couple. We don't know exactly what that'll look like. We're actually driving up to Placerville today to go see them. And so we will know in about 8 hours what they think of that. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm really not
sure.
I
kind of want an update. Could we get after this interview, like after you had this experience, like, hey guys, this is what it was? Or
yeah.
Totally
Let's get it.
Let you know.
The one thing I will say is this, is that you're much nicer to your family than I would have been coming from your experience, because I don't see you ever putting them on blast really on social media. I think that this conversation we're having, and it's a long platform. It's not a 15-second video. It's a long conversation. We're talking about idiosyncrasies. There were positive parts of your childhood, but there were also, this a bit of oppression and self-loathing given to you, and that caused mental issues and almost death, by suicide. So I think that you are such a hero to LGBT youth of how to act and how to carry yourself with such grace, and how to take a negative situation and try to turn it into a positive. I can tell you that a lot of kids and a lot of people in your situation would not be as brave. They would not be as strong. They would not have gotten through it, maybe period, and certainly not with a master's degree and such strength as you have. So I think when you guys are switching over now to being online and having a presence and seeing such growth there, I think it's two things. Number one, you are willing to be as sexual as an LGBTQ plus couple as straight couples are, because a lot of times LGBTQ couples, I feel like we don't show our sexuality and our fun side because it gets misconstrued as something gross or almost like a caricature. But you guys do it in such a fun and exciting way that really relates to us, and can also bring straight people into the lives of it. But also, you guys, your story that people don't even know by just watching your TikToks is one of strength and persistence, and really a hero to LGBTQ plus behind you. And the funny thing is, because you're so young and you're so successful at such a young age, the fact is the people who you're helping are literally your same age. They're your peers. I just think that's so strong, so impactful, and I am so excited for you guys now. Coming up next on Timo After Hours, Marcus and Ian have conquered TikTok, but what's next for this budding young couple?
You're my partner, not like romantically, and on social media too, and so we have each other's backs. We're gonna be a team. We're gonna figure it out together, and I don't need to know every detail. All I need to know is that you're here with me and you're going through this journey, and all we need is each other, and we're gonna figure it out.
And then Ian's like, I gotta pay the credit card bill, so Marcus, get to work.
Yeah, Ian's like, no, we gotta figure it out.
And the boys discuss the message they want to leave with the world.
You can be yourself, and there will always be someone there to support you, and there will always be community to be had there.
All this and more on the next Timo After Hours. Subscribe with push notifications on so you don't miss the video. Click the green to see the next episode in the series, purple to see the full series playlist, and blue to subscribe. Until next time, I'm Timo Bach, and keep your smile side up. If you don't want to wait to see future episodes, no need. Subscribe to Patreon now, and you can get access to all 5 episodes of Ian and Marcus' story and future content for as little as $5 a month.